It's humming.
Right. Either way, I just got out the gym, and it's got me not going to be no near as hot as that.
Yeah, that's true. Or nearly as hot as it is outside.
Oh, Lord.
It's fucking crazy hot. People are losing their mind over it. Like it's the first time it's ever happened to
I
them.
know. Yep. I know. And you're like, I can't go outside. And I'm like, you still got to do whatever you got to do in life. And no matter if there's snow on the ground, 1,000 degrees outside, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know, right? But I had a couple of people like ask me, like, they had this feeling like if their air conditioner quit or if mine quit, we could die. You know? Like that was the vibe I was getting. I was like, it'll be okay though. I won't die.
No.
Yeah.
People that, I mean, the homeless population in Texas or Southern California, wherever it reaches crazy heights.
People do die from heat.
Yeah.
But being a little hot won't kill
but
you.
not around here.
True. Yeah. Do you think that people are a little hypersensitive anymore? That's a nice way of saying soft.
Yes,
weak.
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
You think so?
100%. Absolutely. Just, I don't even know the quote, but they said, tough times make, hard man.
Oh, right.
And then it follows too, you get better and better, but then that makes sure you're, other people with your kids, because they've got it easy, it makes them weaker, more sensitive to everything else.
It's so logical. What is it? What's the danger in there somewhere? Soft men make hard times.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a real risk.
But yeah, and it's, everybody says, it's the kids. Boy, it's I don't know if you want to call it the narrative, but it's the me, the right here, right now, and the fact that everybody wants everything handed to them. They don't want to work for it, and if they don't want to work for it, they don't do it. And the few that do, that excel, know what it takes. But yeah, people just don't want to either put the effort in, or they don't care.
Yeah, like apathy. It's weird. It's weird because you're a little older like me.
Yeah.
Like we're the only people I think that had a chance to live in two different generations, man. Like we went from one extreme to the other. Like
Absolutely.
when we were young, was it like this for you too? Like people around you were like, their order of like what's important was like hard work near the top. Mm-hmm. Fucking discipline, and if you want to make something of yourself, you have to make yourself something, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying anything's right or wrong. I'm not sure what the right answers are, but it's weird how it flipped. And now it's like whatever you can get is best, whatever's easiest is best, and if it's too hard or won't accommodate you, you shouldn't do it.
And that's the thing. People, I don't care what anybody does. If you don't want to do nothing, don't do anything. If you don't want to strive for anything, but don't complain about it at the same time.
That's a good point.
It's not, poor me. Well, if you don't put the effort in or any desire behind it, don't complain it doesn't come, or don't complain nobody doesn't give it to you. You know what I mean? Nothing's given.
Right. I think you just defined entitlement, man.
Yeah.
Like to
no,
the T.
absolutely. Yeah, and that's huge right now. Entitlement is huge, and a lot of the mind state is a lot of a lot of the lack of discipline, a lot of social media that people, you can hide behind whatever and cry about this or do about this and that, and there's no repercussions, or there's no you have to get out and do it. I have to get out and experience.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. And I don't get like offended or mad at people that are like that. I just worry about them.
Yeah.
I worry about them because like I know it's not going to work out for you,
And you can tell them 100 times. And you like the same thing you can tell people, but until they actually do it themselves, then they'll never get or create or attain whatever goal that they feel they deserve without putting the work in.
Yeah, unearned rewards. It's weird. Gosh, man, thanks for being here, dude. I'm so glad you worked it in your schedule. I appreciate that.
Yeah, glad to be. That's why I was like, I messaged her like, ooh, how even long is it? And I was like, I got about an hour. So I'm glad that worked out, definitely.
Yeah. I've known you a while. I've seen you around a lot. We have a lot of similar interests that cross paths. I always thought, man, I wish I could sit down and fucking talk to Matt sometime for a minute, uninterrupted, you know?
Right.
So we both do entrepreneurial stuff, which keeps you hopping.
Yeah.
I thought, well, why not just record it?
And most time it's in passing, you know what I mean? A couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm interested in you. I mean, I know stuff about you, but like you own some companies, you do entrepreneurial work, and you're always branding and doing exciting things, and your personal interests seem pretty exciting. Yeah, so we got Barlow's Beard Butter, which is handmade products for people that you make.
Yes, I do.
That is made by hand.
Sometimes there's not a lot in there because everyone's like, why don't you have, I mean, there's probably like 15 cents on the butters, and usually there's just a handful
15,
in there.
wow.
15 that I've made.
That's so many.
And they're like, why not? I'm like, I still work behind the chair all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's your other business is Barlow's Barbershop, which is, you got a new spot downtown on the square. It's fucking awesome, dude.
That's probably the best move ever made. And the other two spots, literally it was for a need. We outgrew them. And they were good little areas, but there was no high traffic volume, no, exposure or anything.
Yeah.
And every time my lease happened to be up, and they never had me re-sign yet. And so it was month to month, and within a month, every time, okay, let's go. There's a spot, let's go. Same thing with that. Seeing that, I'm like,
so you think you found your home? Hopefully.
I signed a 3-year lease. We're just into our second year, and that's going to be a decision here about another year. The cut inside's full up front, and I don't want to leave the downtown area right there at all.
Yeah.
So from a year from now, I'll have 2 more. My son and his older brother will have licenses ready to go.
Oh, nice.
So if I can find a bigger spot,
got to keep growing
to move to, or if I want to open up another spot on the south end, and I'm like, God, it's gonna be a headache. Either way, it's gonna be a headache. Whatever I gotta do.
Yeah. Well, we should talk about partnering on one.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because every time I think about opening up a barber shop exclusively, because I do a salon with a few barbers in the barber area, I think, man, I almost want to do this, but it's just like I need a partner.
Yeah.
So that's great, dude. And what I love about your shop, there's a lot to love about it, but what I really love is those giant glass panes.
Yes.
In the front, and you were so smart to put like bright lighting inside the backside and the ring lights at low level, dude, so like you can see in there. And like it's like 3D from all downtown. You can see in your spot. They look so good, dude.
And that was the key. I mean, first of all, the windows sold me first off. Just a huge,
they're
just
enormous.
Be able to see them. I don't even have. I've been there 2 years, and I don't even have signage out front. I have a barber pole. And
Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, and I did that on purpose. Like, why don't you have a sign or anything? I'm like, I don't have a need for a sign. I'm just now, I brought in 2 new guys maybe 6 months ago. I'm just now being able to keep up with clientele coming in. And I was kind of like, let's see how much I can grow with no signage. Just kind of something to myself. No signage at all, just social media, word of mouth, and client referrals.
And the whole front of your building's a sign, really.
Yeah,
'cause you can
exactly.
see inside, dude.
Yeah. I've got one huge...
Your sign would cover up the cool view. Like.
And that's my thing. Like, oh, you don't put letterings on the window? I'm like, no, I want people to drive by and have an unobstructed view inside to see what's going on.
It's cool.
There's a huge LED light on the wall. We keep another light on. So you drive by there 24 hours a day, you can see it is a barbershop, regardless.
Yeah, that was brilliant, dude. You do a lot of brilliant stuff, especially with branding. And that's actually how we first started talking, because we both do products, and we were cross-branding and cross-promoting, and we both do salon barber stuff. But really, in this area, like, we were the 2 people and my wife trying the hardest at branding.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
And nobody else seemed to give a shit.
Nope.
So I was like, I need to talk to this guy. He's super motivated. But how did you How do you stay motivated to do that? And like, how did you learn how to do that stuff? Did you just make it up or you study?
No, a lot of it. I think I'll tell you, when I first started, I guess you could say branding. When I first started cutting hair, was in a Crush Salon.
Yeah, Lisa's place.
Yep. Rented me a spot in there. And within a year later, I started setting up. I come up with the beard butters. I'm like, okay, beards are huge. You're going to be in my chair. I can sell you a product that you need. And I was reading, I don't know if it was Hardwired or like a salon magazine about social media branding. And I never had Facebook until 2012. I didn't have MySpace. I didn't have nothing. I had no idea even what it was.
Yeah.
And so I came up with my brand before the beard butters, before I even had anything. You know what I mean? I made the product, I branded it, and I just slammed it on social media.
But the brand was your priority from the jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the key reason is, if you could have the best whatever you do in the world, if nobody knows, it does not matter. They're not going to see it. They're not going to come. They're not going to purchase it.
That's true.
So I just did that and slammed it all over social media and everywhere. And people loved it. It was a great product. And then I just kind of, when I opened my shop, transferred that to my shop, the same thing.
I didn't realize it came first. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I thought maybe it was second.
Yeah, it was ever before I had a shop. And I'd set up at the fights, and I would go around the Midwest and set up at beard events. They would have, like, you know what I mean? And they would all be for either animal stuff, you know what I mean, animal groups, veterans or something like that. And people would come from, you know, all over the United States sometimes. And, you know what I mean, beard championships, and all the money would go towards a great cause. We'd set up in different cities. And, you know what I mean, it was great because we wouldn't make no money. It wasn't about making the money. It was about getting the product out there, the brand. And we'd have a great time. We talk about some of the weirdest, nicest people you ever meet in your life. It's phenomenal. Really. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. You do just get out there, man. And you created so much equity in your brand, which I don't think people like appreciate enough. Like you're talking about, you did events where you didn't make money.
Yeah, 100%.
Events that probably cost money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in your mind, you're building the equity of your brand, the value of.
Yes.
I think that's important. But you just seems like you never quit. You're super consistent, and you do branding for your staff, and you do. I think you really like it.
I love
because
it.
You're really good at it, and you have to like it, because you even do branding for like people that were on booth rent, that paid you rent.
Yeah, 100%.
So you weren't even, you were just trying to, I mean, you don't, basically what I'm saying is you don't indirectly or directly get paid from branding them.
Yeah, no. Well, when I first...
But you still did it.
Yeah, when I first opened up the shop, everybody was booth rent. And I would field every call. I still field most of the calls myself, even behind the chair.
That's right. I remember you telling me that. I thought it was crazy.
I still answer the phone behind the chair, at dinner, on vacation. It does not matter. I mean, people love to talk to somebody. They love to hear a human voice. And I've got, as many times as I can, everybody's name in my phone. So when I call and I'm like, oh, thanks, Tom. Well, how'd you know it was Tom? People...
do you still do that?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
Crazy.
It's insanely...
I remember kayaking with you once.
Yeah.
And you were making appointments the whole fucking time, dude. Yeah, and I was like, I thought you were just being a dick and answering calls from your friends, because you talk to the people like they're your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is brilliant. I mean, they are your friends. You do care about them.
Yeah.
But it was so different for me. And then I remember being surprised, because I just assumed you were running a hourly or commission team, because you worked like you were running a team.
I do now. And probably then I was. Right before, when COVID hit, everybody was booth rent. I had 3 main people leave at one time in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And then, therefore, I used to let them have their own numbers. I would shoot clients to them. They'd retain that information. And then 3 people left. And then, so a lot of clientele went with them. Absolutely, I did spoil them. And I don't think... Well, neither here nor what I think, but they left, so therefore a lot of clientele left, so therefore I cut it off.
Yeah.
And everybody went to a form of commission. Absolutely.
Good.
I'm like,
good.
If I'm doing this behind...
You're doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. And still what I do now, everybody makes money, everybody's happy. That's my key thing at the shop.
That's it.
As long as everybody's happy and everybody's making money, there's nothing, you know what I mean? We can figure anything and everything else out.
Yeah, win-win, man. We're on the same page with that. I think we're on the same page with a lot of things, including staying motivated and branding and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, anybody that might be interested in listening to this, and me, myself, I'm interested in, like, your entrepreneurial spirit, like your motivation and stuff. Because a lot of times people like me and you forget that people don't live lives like us.
Absolutely.
A lot of people punch time card. They work a set schedule for somebody else, and they have a much different view. So they find this stuff intriguing as hell. So I want to hear from you, man. Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you wake up every day and decide what it is I need to do? What do I want to do? How do I stay motivated to do it? Like, what's your day look like, dude?
I think the staying motivation, I still love the hustle. I love the hustle of it all.
You like it?
I love it. I thoroughly love it. And if I don't ever love it, or each individual part, even if one day I do not like cut behind the chair, I will quit. Life's too short not to be happy in any aspect of your life. Get up, and I think it's all about routine, mental routine, along with physical routine, how you do your day. You got to have your day planned out. I mean, I'll get up and I will look at my book at every client and go through my head their haircut. You know what I mean? They're my clients. Okay, I may do them 5 years. You know what I mean? I've done them forever. I'm mentally, okay, this is what I'm doing. I want that to be the best service ever. As long as pushing through the day, it's a struggle. I mean, you got 100 different things going on in your brain, answering the phone, cutting the hair, running the brand.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of stuff on your schedule, your calendar, that's not stuff that you have to do.
Yes.
Stuff you're deciding to do.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's, okay, if you've got 20 things you need to do, you got to pick your priorities. Okay, you can't do all these. What is important? What needs to be at the top of the list? And then work that way down, and then take all them and fit them in your time frame or your gaps or whatever you got going on for the day. Definitely.
That's a hard thing to do.
That is, and not on top of that. And then if you have a relationship, that's you. That, you know, what I mean, you've got to weigh that out.
You talking about like a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the balance is.
That takes.
Oh,
it's like a whole nother. It's a whole nother job.
Yeah. And
Right.
When I first started, my priority was my business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was my business, and up until maybe a year and a half ago, I don't even know how long we've been together, but yeah, about a year and a half. I made sure I made her a huge priority as well, because sometimes you find things that are meant to be. That is that. You find somebody, okay, you decide, okay, you need to make that a priority as well. So you have to put that in your schedule as well. I get up every single morning, no matter what I have to do. I will drive to her house. She's usually sleeping. Walk in, give her a kiss, and then go about my day, just to let her know I've got all this to do, but you are my first priority in the morning.
That's sweet. That's
Gotta
really,
make that happen. Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough too, because when you're trying to make a priority for a relationship, at least I find, this might be not true for you, but it's true for me, like, being successful is one way that I show her that I love her.
Yes. Yeah,
and
absolutely, yes.
If I don't go to work, I spend all my time with you all day, I don't feel like I'm showing you that I love you enough to get my ass out there and make it happen for us. And that's hard to communicate to women sometimes.
It is. We're more this way, and they got so much more emotion in them. And I don't want to say need, but we both have needs, but they have more the comfort need.
It's different. We're just different creatures a little bit, I think. I think some people don't like to think that, but I do. Like
absolutely.
When shit gets out of control for me, what works best is grindstone, hard work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to put myself into work, and I'm going to stop thinking and feeling, and I'm going to accomplish things. That isn't necessarily the go-to. for most women I've known.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel like that's the case for you?
Yeah. And I say it a lot of time where there's the gym, when I get mentally stressed, the gym and my shop. You know what I mean? The grind of my shop, where it's cutting hair, doing, you know what I mean, in the shop that gets me together. And a lot of times just, you know what I mean, cutting hair and talking to clients, but just staying focused. Because it's so easy to get stressed in high pressure situations or high pressure jobs or running businesses and don't have a productive outlet. I mean, it's easy to just, you know what I mean, if you want to go out all the time, this and that, but that's not productive. And we'll go out a lot, you know what I mean? But as far as that, I think the gym is the most thing that keeps me mentally together with all the stress of my life.
Yeah, I've noticed you do work out a lot. We go to the same gym. I see you there sometimes.
And that's that's the second thing I do in the morning time when I do it. First is see her for a minute, and then go to the gym and gets my whatever I had from the day before stress. You know, I work that out there. Even if it's just sometimes I'm there for 20 minutes. I may do some pull-ups and just walk, but it's getting that mental peace. That's my recharge in the morning time.
That keeps you together.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's a lot though, man. I don't know if you realize that or not, but like working on relationships, working out, being motivated to do physical activity as often as you do, running businesses and branding and marketing,
yes,
and being a boss, and you are managing and leading employees, and you are also still working in your business as well. So you're handling clients and customer service and skills. That's a lot, dude. It's really well rounded. How do you stay able to keep that well rounded schedule, dude? It's hard.
I mean, it's extremely hard, but like I said, I still love the hustle. It excites me still. And just, I've learned now, I've had this apartment down the road down here for, I don't even know, next February, 2 years, I think. I've had a TV in there the whole time, never plugged it in once. Never watched TV in there, not one time.
Yeah.
I'm like, and mentally I'm like, why? Do I want to waste my time doing this? Or do I want to take that time and add something in there that can do something productive in life? Now I will sit down and watch Netflix with her, because that's, you know, I mean, that's our little time when we've got time, which is fine, makes her happy. I love some of the shows.
Yeah.
But before, no, even not one time. We just now took it to the shop. We're going to put it up in the shop because it's football season. I got two guys like, oh, it's football season. I'm like,
all right.
And I told myself, go get the TV, we'll put it up in the shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the hustle. And like I said, there's so many different facets of it. It keeps my brain switching, changing, and keeps it motivated versus, you know, I'm in 9 to 5, somebody's working 12 hours on me with overtime. It's the same monotonous thing. Same thing.
Yeah, well, how did you get into it, man? I feel like I know quite a bit about you, but not until what you're doing now started. Like, where'd you come from? How did you get where you're going? What's your story, man? What made you so, like, strong and motivated, capable, and focused?
I tell you what, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people that knew me know, but probably the majority of people don't. Long story short, I got my license in 98. But I left.
Your barber's license.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my drive, my motivation, my passion, I left in 2012, went to the penitentiary, and came back 2 years later. I came back with $230 sleeping on my mom's couch.
No shit. You did 2 years?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Straight, yeah. And there's a whole transition, and I give most of that to God when I went in there. Mental state, and honestly, that's when I first started doing yoga, which is crazy because they're the biggest, baddest, and gnarliest people in Westville Penitentiary, and they're doing yoga.
Yoga's legit.
And I'm like, okay, they're doing this, I'm going to go in there and try it. But yeah, and I came home. Did I still have my license in? Yeah.
So were you a different person after?
Oh, 100%. 100%. just mentally. And that's not been the first time I've been, but that was the time that I spent a decade or so off and on locked up.
Really?
Previous to that, yeah.
And then you had a change.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time I was in there, I'm looking in decades of time. And
oh, you were looking at more time.
Yeah, right before I went in there, it was 20-some years, maybe more. Went through, long story short, I went through the reentry program, Judge Menz's. People hate it. And, I mean, it's a great program. Great program. He comes and gets a haircut now, religiously.
So you slayed some fucking dragons, dude.
That's just, that's just part of it. But, yeah, and I came home and I was like, I was however old. It was like October 14 I came home. And I looked at life like, okay, God, what's it been? 9 years? 47? Yeah, I was almost 40. I'm like, I'm 40. Everybody my age is, had 20, 30 years to be where they're at. I've jacked off my previous time, before that, doing nothing, getting locked up on and off. I'm here, they're here, I should be up here. How fast can I get up there?
Dude, you started at 40?
How fast can I get up there? 2014 when I came home, I didn't start cutting hair until
shit, dude.
8 years ago.
That's so inspiring.
I didn't start cutting hair again until 8 years ago with nothing. Just I rented a booth in Lisa's shop, Crush Salon. Yeah,
that is inspiring for people, dude. Anybody listening to this should be inspired because when I met you, which was before you were even as successful as you are now, you seemed like a person that had been working on your shit for 20 years plus.
Yeah.
So you made a switch in your head and you said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get ahead of people.
Absolutely.
Somehow, even from way behind.
Yeah. I'm like, I had the skill, but I don't have any business knowledge, anything, social media. Like I said, it'd be 2014 when I came home. It was when I first got Facebook.
Yeah,
just to connect with people.
You weren't even you didn't even have access to that shit.
No, right?
And you're like a fucking pro, dude.
Yeah, when I was in there, I set goals when I was in there. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want. This is my vision of what life's going to be. And there was nothing to hold me back. I came home and I started driving a cab for 12 hours. I couldn't get a job anywhere.
Sure.
Nowhere, because I just came home. So I started driving a cab for 12 hours a day, and I had classes through reentry, court, and everything. And I would get 3 to 4 hours sleep every day. Every day. And then when I actually started cutting hair, I would drive that cab 10 hours a night. I would sit and rent a chair all day long and hustle to gain clientele. I had cut people's hair before, so it was just get my name back out there and branding myself along with that I'm doing hair. And I would get 3 or 4 hours sleep, if that, a day, forever and ever and ever. A good year before I completed the reentry, that part of it. So when people say, I can't do it, I don't have time, I don't have this.
That probably bounces off your head, bro.
I took the bus. I took the bus to where I needed to go to get ahead.
Yeah.
And people these days, they don't want to walk. They don't want to take the bus. Took the bus, then I got a little car.
Oh yeah.
And then escalated from there. I'm like, there's no way you can tell me I can't do it. You cannot tell me you cannot do anything if you put your mind and your will and your desire to it. 100%.
I noticed that about you. I like that about you. I was curious where it came from. I'm glad I got that story.
That's what people. A lot of people that new clients or people. Oh, you got a business, got a nice truck. I'm like, you have no idea. No idea from
it also
8 years ago till now.
Explains to me why you're so humble.
Yeah, and that's the key to life right there.
Yeah, I've met plenty of successful people. Not all of them are humble.
No, absolutely not.
So I appreciate that about you. Man, what a fucking awesome story. What a wild ride. Not just to change your mind, to change your ways, but to keep it so consistent. 8 years now. Is that what you said? 8 years ago?
I believe so, because I think the barbershop be open for 6 years in November. Then I was at Crush for a year and a half. So I guess I started cutting hair in November. It's been about 7 years, a little over 7 years, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Well, and what I hear from you is priorities, routine, goals, and vision.
Yeah.
Like, are those the things that really? Because if those things can get you out of a lifestyle of getting locked up and into the amazing, like, productive and inspiring and successful lifestyle you're in now, like, people need to know that. Do you think those are the things?
Sacrifice is huge.
What do you mean?
But yes, you have to sacrifice everything. I mean, if you want to open up a business or you want to get to that goal,
you mean sacrifice the shit that you
guys
like,
just sacrifice fun stuff in life. You guys to sacrifice. So many people, they get in a good place, or they want to get a business or get this, but then they want to spend money. Well, they want to go on vacations all the time. If sit down for a couple of years, don't spend no money, don't go on vacation, no frivolous spendings, and then put that to whatever your goal is. You will achieve so much more. I remember I used to cut hair in the same shorts all the time, same shoes. A couple different shirts. I had plenty of money. When I first started getting on my feet, even when I opened up my shop, I could buy all kinds of clothes. I could buy stuff then, but I still didn't, because I didn't have a need for it. I didn't care. I was trying to build a brand and a business. You can't do that when, okay, I'm spending all this money I'm making. I'm gonna spend it. Why? If you want to keep building,
you're right.
Sit down and be still on that aspect for a little bit, and then down the road you can take all the vacations. You can go to Vegas for a couple of days, 2-3 times a year if you want, whatever makes you happy. But you've got to sit down and just stay still on that aspect.
That's the truth that nobody says, because any business owner that's got any level of success doesn't like to say that, man. They like to show people, like, look, this is what I got.
Yeah.
But the reality is, man, the people I've met and the way they found to be successful in business, man, was to be money-minded, frugal, efficient. Everything's an investment. Even your personal life, for sure.
Yes.
And I can definitely relate to that. There was one time, when I met my wife, she came over to my house. I was running it was like a $9 million business, and I had a few more on the side, and I was bringing in loads of money. Everything was doing really well, and I was pretty young, and that's when I was trying my hardest to make money in life.
Yeah.
Whatever. She came over to my house, and it was my old rental house. And like, there was no carpet. I slept in a hammock. I didn't have a TV. I didn't have anything in there. Like, nothing mattered to me. I was never there. I was at work.
Yeah.
To start with. Also, if I was there, like, I didn't want to spend a dime on anything except business. Like, it seemed like a waste of money.
Yeah.
I could totally get it. But that isn't a glorious story that people like to hear about being a business owner. And my 2 cents, if you're interested, is if you decide to become an entrepreneur or own a business, what it does is it exposes you. If you are bad with money, bad with your time, bad with every weakness you have will be brought into the light.
Absolutely.
If you start a business, you will realize day one, like, this is all the shit I need to become good at, or I'm in trouble.
I'm still learning myself things,
Oh, yeah.
We never quit learning, but there's times, I think I'm still learning now, and it's hard when you do it yourself. You do everything else too. Okay, let's put some responsibilities here, some responsibilities here. And I've learned that more in the past year than ever. And it takes
to delegate.
Delegate.
Yeah,
it takes
okay.
weight off my shoulders and my brain. The stress of my mind. And I keep saying, well, if I had more time. But then I think it'll come to the point I'll cut back my chair time just to expand or just push different business stuff. And because we got 24 hours in a day, and I try to maximize as much as I can of that.
Seems like a logical next step. Move to the way of making other people successful and making money through providing that opportunity for them, being more of a,
I think I'm super lucky because as we all do, I hand pick everybody there. We're just now being able to keep up with clientele, and I would turn people away. I would turn great barbers away, and they're like, "Why? Your work's phenomenal. You're not going to fit our vibe. It's not about right now. It's about the future. It's about the brand, and whether it's just attitude or social media." I had one guy who's phenomenal. Went to social media. I'm like, "You're an extension of Barlow's, and we don't want to see that on social media, whatever it was at the time." And I think just you got to be highly selective of not your clientele, or not your clientele, but your employees. But even in life, you got to be highly selective of who you have around you. It's not about quantity, it's about quality, the quality of people.
Yeah, I agree with that, dude. And I think there's a lot of people who disagree with that, and I think they're making a mistake.
100%.
There's people that are like, and I'll tell employees about it, like, hey, look, I noticed your stuff. And social media is starting to get down the line of just ignorant, trashy, divisive, aggressive, like whatever. Like, what do you like? You can't do that and work here. And they're like, it's my personal space. It's my freedom of expression. I'm like, yes, you are free in this country to express yourself. And I am free in this country not to fucking pay you or hire you.
Absolutely, yes.
That's where we're at right now. And that's a silly mistake. People mistake their rights for something that doesn't have consequences.
And I tell them that too, but I can look up back myself years ago, and some of the things I posted a few years ago, I'm like, and that was a trying time. I think how many times I went through a bad breakup. You got to.
It's the worst time to
grow
post
mentally.
Right?
So I went through a breakup. My buddy got a divorce. We seen my other buddy, and we were literally out 4 or 5 nights, probably 5 nights a week downtown, just ripping it up.
Yeah.
And then I look back and I'm like, Lord help me, huh? I'm not sharing that memory, Right. Yeah. But it's growth, definitely it's growth. And if you can look back and see that and be like, there's no way I would post that now, or no way I'd put that video or picture on there now, then you've grown in life. You've grown as a human mentally.
Yeah. That's so obvious to me. It's so obvious to me that everybody grows. There's this weird thing going on now with cancel culture and social media where people are sort of feeling like they judge anybody for any dumb thing they did in the past.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking stupid, because now everybody's afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, of course you're smarter now than you were when you were 12.
And a lot of the people who do that, I'm sure there's something in your past, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, anybody
that somebody could, if they really want to pick out, or if it came up, whether you're a celebrity or just an average person or anywhere in between.
Anybody who's never made a mistake is lying.
Yes, 100%.
And I don't trust anybody who's never made a mistake, because if it were true they've never made a mistake, then I know for sure they've never fucking learned anything.
Yeah, they've never tried.
Right, or tried.
And people are like, well, how'd you do this or how'd you do that? I'm like, and I guess it goes along with failure. Mistake and failure. But you never fail as long as you keep trying. But you will make mistake after mistake after mistake. But that's not a mistake as long as you counter that and grow and gain from that. Okay, let's do this a different way. Whether it's a bad post, being a bad person, whatever, you're still growing. Whether it's business or just humanity in general.
Yeah, that's it. But you have to be able to embrace that you're gonna do shit wrong.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be really bad at some things, especially if you're brave enough to do something new that you want to learn, that you need to learn.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people from our generation that never took the leap to social media.
No, yeah.
Like you did so well, because they're afraid to fail. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look bad at it. They just say a bunch of things bad about it. Yeah.
And that's like, the essence of, they're downing it because they're afraid to try it. whether it's social media or anything. Like so many people are like, oh, this and that, I don't like this, or you shouldn't do that. It's because it's usually something within themselves, you know what I mean? Something they're missing, whether it's a fear or a anxiety or uneasiness, but same thing. You don't know until you try it.
Yeah. Do you push back on people very often and confront people, or are you pretty agreeable?
I've gotten back. I used to be. As the business part, I'm a huge people pleaser. I'm a huge agreeable, and I don't like confrontation at all. I think I will push back more so if it's something got to do with my friends or family or people around me. I will probably,
if it's important to you.
Yeah, important to me than me. I can take it off my shoulders. You know what I mean?
But if it's not important to you, just let them keep their bad ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that.
And like if it's in the shop, you know what I mean? And it's funny because sometimes you've got so many different people, and even in life, and you've got, especially if you know that person, it's okay, how do I tactfully, you know what I mean, get the point across or whatever without hurting their feelings or making them mad. And I'm like, especially when, we've got men and women in there as a shop thing, and I'm like, luckily I know all of them very well, so I'm like, okay, what angle do I come in to get my point across without feeling like a dick or, you know what I mean, this and that, because we're a good group, so you got kind of, I've learned to do that versus just the same verbiage or the same tone to everybody, because everybody may take it different.
To get like specific with how you communicate with individuals to be the most effective with them, like absolutely. What's going to ring truest to you. I think that's a sign of a good leader.
And
it's hard to do.
And then you get to the point, and you got to admit, you know what I mean, hey, I'm wrong sometimes, you know what I mean, that may not have been the best choice, and you've got to let them know that, you know what I mean, so it's not, you're just not like, that's the way it is. No, communication, like, you're right, you know what I mean, you're right, and sometimes you got to let them take the lead. It's great because the shop runs so smoothly because I give them, I guess it's trust. They can, they know if it's anything, they can block it off if they need to. I've got enough people to move around.
Yeah.
Most of the time they will ask, but if it's, I tell them if it's got to do with the kids, you don't even have to ask. Send me a text and block it off. I will come in myself. I will make it happen.
Yeah.
You got to have time to take care of your kids and family. And it's well-rounded. It's to where I don't have to be. I used to have to be there every day. I used to open up every single morning, but now I don't, because I know they will be fine. They can take care of it, and they will use their best judgment for the shop, not just themselves.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
that's commitment.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice.
I had an old boss reduce that down to me when I was working for other people. He said, you can spend all of your effort trying to get compliance out of people, mm-hmm. and you'll get it. And you'll never enjoy it. It'll never work nearly as well as getting commitment from people.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's harder to get commitment, but worth it. And I think that makes sense with, you're talking about your vision. I feel like everybody I meet that's at any level of success always mentions that they have a vision, and they seem to be very good at sharing it with people.
Yes, and you have to, because if you've got that vision, it's got to be ingrained in you. So if you're able to communicate and share it, then you've got a great grasp of what you want to do and how you're going to do it. And sometimes you got, 5 years down the line, you may just have, okay, this is, I need to do something, and then within that time, you'll get a good grasp of it, and figure out for the good or bad, one way or other, if it's going to work out and if you want to do it.
I love the way you say that, because it rings of like courage, not being afraid. Like, this might just bomb, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Absolutely.
See what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So, what does the future bring for Matt Barlow?
Oh,
what's the future vision you have currently?
I have so many things in my head, because we're just now at a place to where, as business-wise, great. Like I say, do I find a bigger spot? Do I open up another spot? Or
do you stay satisfied and start a personal endeavor? Have time for yourself.
I will still have that. I've been making time for myself. Yes, it's huge with a relationship with her now. We'll see where that leads in the future. We're doing great. We're extremely happy.
That's good, man.
But like I said, I've got that drive and the hustle to go. And whether it's, I always say, what if I want to do something different? I'm like, what would I do? And it's funny because I wrote down goals the past couple of years. I think last year I was like, not this year, but last year at the beginning of the year I wrote down, I think I learned stocks and stuff. I play a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember halfway through last year, into last year, I was like, man, not that I failed, but, man, I had that on my list. I didn't do anything. And she's like, the year's not over. It's halfway through the year. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Not that I've done a lot with it, but just that mind state that she, put back in me. It was like, you're right.
Your girlfriend?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
She's pretty encouraging.
She's amazing, yeah.
That's great.
Amazing.
Hell yeah. That's a blessing.
But she is a blessing. I think the best thing about it is when you meet somebody and you don't have a need to be with somebody. So many people, have a need to be with, another person.
Yeah.
A lot of people go through breakups and they'll jump because that need. They didn't find themselves. They didn't find peace within themselves before they get involved with somebody else.
Yeah.
I was at peace with myself. She was at peace in that aspect, and it was just a random encounter, then a random, not encounter, but a random meeting, and just something escalated, extremely well. And I think if neither one of us would have been in that peaceful within our own heart, our own time, things probably wouldn't work out.
That's
for the long run.
True. That's a real hard thing to understand when you're young, though. I remember.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Absolutely, yeah.
All we were doing was like filling up the cracks in ourselves
Right.
with each other, dude. Like, yeah, like replacing our mom or our dad. Or basically. That's great for you, though, man. I'm happy for that.
And I think that's part of growth. Like I said, I was gone for a while. I had one relationship, and then the break of that, and it was just out getting hammered, just partying, just what. And I never.
You drink?
Huh?
You drink?
I never took time to get my mind together without alcohol or whatever in there.
Yeah.
And then finally I did. And then my last relationship, we broke up. And then, I'd go out a couple nights through a week like normal. But then I took time. I evaluated myself and my, my emotions, my needs, and my mind state. And I got to a great place in life.
That's great, dude.
A great place in life. Like I said, I got a little apartment down the alley from Kyle. And to this day,
Kyle, my business partner.
Yes.
Yeah, down Walnut.
Yeah, just right down the alley.
Yeah.
He's one to turn me on. It was an old teacher.
It's a beautiful neighborhood.
Mr. Minton had it, and Kyle was like, bro, it's one bedroom upstairs. If you don't need anything big. And I walked in there. I'm like, it's a little beautiful place.
Yeah.
I literally had, to me, I look at things as needs, not wants.
Yeah.
And I had my mattress, nice, and actually it was so big, I couldn't even get up the door. So it was the gel, foam, whatever there. So I took a bread knife and just cut the end off. I YouTubed it first and cut it off and got it upstairs. And then Gorilla glued it back on. And
that's smart.
It laid on my kitchen floor forever. Because
you slept in the kitchen.
All I would do, I had a bedroom. All I would do was come home and sleep. I worked nonstop. I grinded.
I've been there.
I had no silverware. I had one spoon. I had two bourbon glasses and some paper plates. And I ate out every day. I ate out every day.
I've never met someone else who's been there.
Yeah, because I had a need for it. I don't have any pictures in there. I've got an old barber chair in there, some camera equipment.
That's great.
My dressers, and they're like, why? I'm like, I don't need anything. The only reason I got silverware, pots and pans, which I don't think I've ever used, as you sit on the stove, and put my bed on its frame, was because I met her.
That's funny, dude.
Because I met her.
The second after the first night that my wife now came over, the next day she left to go to work. She's a pretty ambitious person herself. I went to Goodwill and bought a second place setting.
Yeah.
I went to got a plate and 2 more forks, 2 more spoons. And it just is funny to me now that I'd never considered getting like a lot of them or a set. I just went and got 1 more fucking plate.
And it's funny, and I still...
And she didn't even get it when she came over next time and I made her food. I'm like, look, you have your own plate.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck?
And it was like, why? Like, because, I don't know, like I said, it's a need. It wasn't a need. I did all that, and she's never stayed there one night. We've never ate there, but I got it just because she's like, how are you going to invite me over if your bed's on the floor in the kitchen?
That's a good
don't
point.
have that. And I'm like, fair enough.
Thank God for women, dude. We would be fucking cavemen, dude.
You got that right.
Like, we would be the most unsophisticated, fucking hairy, filthy animals living. Because the next step would be like, why do I need an apartment? Why don't I just put my mattress in this fucking cave? It's free.
Right.
That's the next step. You're almost there.
But yeah, and it's comical because I look back and not much has changed in there, and because I don't have a need for it. I'm out at her house most. I'll stay there a couple nights a week at my apartment. I literally come in maybe 11:30, 12, whatever time I leave. Usually when her son's ready to go to bed, especially school time.
Yeah.
And I'll go in there, sleep. I will wake up. I'm gone. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Yeah.
That's nice. I think it's also a good sign that you value yourself more on different things other than just like what you can have, what you can possess.
Yeah.
Which I think is noble in its own right. So, go ahead. You're going to say something.
I think, because I'm like, you can buy stuff. I've got a nice truck. I was like, I'm able to get a vehicle. And then my mindset was, I want a nice truck. I'm going to brand it. A rolling billboard. But I would rather spend my money on vacation experiences than stuff.
Oh, nice.
I'd rather go. I go a lot of places a lot of times, and I would rather just go and experience stuff. When I came home, I had a house, a whole household full of stuff in the house. I had probably a household and a half of stuff in the garage. I came home and sold everything almost and gave the rest of it away. I'm like, why? What am I going to do with this? Just hoard it? Get it in my mind.
You did that when you first came home?
Yeah, in my mind was, because you got the stress of all the stuff. I had a couple barns full of stuff.
You feel like you had to get that shit out of your way. Did that help you get successful, really, in some way?
I think it did. It was kind of like, cleaning out your life.
Yeah.
Cleaning out your mind, because you've got all that. And there's still ways in there, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I don't need it. What I don't need, I'm getting rid of, and got rid of all of it. And it was just so freeing, so emotionally, mentally, just a weight lifted off of it.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And I've lived like that since
I think
then,
most
for the
people
most part.
think it would be a bad thing. It would be a bad feeling to get rid of your shit. But it's actually a really good feeling.
Yeah, I'm like, if it's not a necessity, and I still live by that, today. I'll buy her stuff. And if she don't need it, she's probably got 200 Squishmallows in there. And her birthday last year. It's funny. Her birthday last year.
Those things are awesome, though.
They are. I love them.
Yeah,
She
my
bought
daughter
me
has
a couple.
few, and she's like, I'm like, why is this fucking stuffy $50?
Yes.
And then I laid on one in her bed, and I was like, God, it's worth every penny.
It was funny. Her birthday last year, I bought her something every single day for her birthday. And, and a lot of them were just Squishmallows. It was just I just wanted to show my appreciation. She does so much. So I'm like, and it's like, what do you buy a woman that has everything or can buy everything herself? Yeah. I was just little stuff like that. So I definitely added to the Squishmallow pile on her birthday. She's like, no more Squishmallows. I said, fair enough.
Hey, that's when you've done your job as a boyfriend or a husband or whatever, is when you've gotten something she likes so much she asks you to stop.
Yes. She's like, not another Squishmallow. I'm like, fair enough. I won't buy you one for another year at least. Yeah.
So I know you're a little short on time. We got to wrap this up soon, but I want to ask if you have time. 2 questions. One, for anybody that might be so unfortunate to listen to this, what is the greatest lesson that you think you've ever learned in your life that you would want to tell anybody of any age. You can pick. You could say I would tell this to a man of any age, or somebody who's 18. Like whatever you think would be the best for anyone to hear. Who would it be, and what would it be?
I think it would be basically don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody that doubts you. I've done so many things in business, and people are like, why? That's not going to work, or you shouldn't do that. No, if you think that's a great idea, do it. It don't matter if it's family or anybody. If you got a vision of something, just do it. And don't quit. Keep doing it. You will figure it out one way or the other. And I think, along with that, I think the best advice, and people think I'm crazy when I say this, you spend a third of your life working, a third of it sleeping, and a third of it whatever. If any parts of that, sleeping, we don't spend a third of our life sleeping, I guarantee that.
No.
But if you hate your job, if you hate your relationship, to a point, quit. Quit. You will find, there's 2/3 of your life. You can't, why you
do something different.
Don't spend day after day after day being unhappy. You've only got so many days, so many hours, so many years to be happy. And if you quit your job, you're going to figure out something real quick, or get a side hustle and figure it out. But, especially at work, if you're unhappy every day at work, that transitions into your family life, your relationship life, everything else.
I agree.
Do something that makes you happy. You're going to work your whole life and end up be miserable. For what? Enjoy life. Sit down, enjoy life, and find something that makes you happy. You don't have to be the richest man.
Enjoy doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
No,
actually,
it will not be. It will not be easy.
Hard shit's what you enjoy.
Yeah, it will not be easy. But you grind through it, then it'll get easier, and then you'll be able to enjoy it, especially if you do something that's in your heart, your passion.
That's good advice, man.
I tell people, you hate your job, quit. That's going to supersede everything in your life if you are unhappy at work where you spend most of your life at.
Yeah, that's like a way of painting yourself into a corner, they say, or whatever.
Yep.
Or what? How does that? There was one expression that you just reminded me of, to where, like, if you can't swim, throw your ass in the ocean.
100%.
You'll learn to swim.
You know what's crazy? I have a fear of not drowning, but just bodies of water. And normally, I will every time I go to the beach, I don't think I did it last time we were busy, I will get a boogie board, and I will go out as far as they start yelling at me.
You have like a real fear of the water?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
That's a
I think it's because
thing.
when I was a kid, I couldn't swim, and somebody threw me in the water, and they thought it was funny. I think that's ingrained in my brain.
Oh, like a salt?
No. So I will go all the way out, and I will just float on my back.
Yeah.
Because what can you do? You have to accept that fear. You have to accept it. It's kind of like confronting your
Face
fear.
it, yeah.
And whether a shark or drowning or crazy, whatever, you got to float back and just float. And it kind of, I think it's just facing your fears.
That's great advice, dude.
And I think if I could tell somebody anything else, I tell people this a lot, and they laugh. I'm like, you know what? Fuck them if they can't take a joke. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Dude, that means so much now.
I swear.
Now more than ever.
It does.
Yeah, dude. I find myself thinking a lot now, fuck them.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is an uncommon thing for me, because I always look for like what I can learn from people, and I think everybody's important. And if somebody hates me, or they're attacking me, or they're arguing with me, or unfairly criticizing me, I'm still listening to them. I still believe in them. I still think they're important. So never in my life until recently have I started saying, fuck these people.
Yeah, because you're not going to make everybody happy. And like I told you before, I've always been a people pleaser. But I had to learn you're not going to make everybody happy in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Some people are just miserable. They will have people come in the shop. We had an altercation the other day or whatever. I don't know what I was going to do. It was crazy. And we got Adam in there, big guy. Ex-military. She's kind of high-strung sometimes. Guy. Good guy. And he's like, but I said, let me tell you something. Calm down. Don't worry about him. You know why? Unfortunately, he's going to live day after day miserable. He's going to be on down the road. You're going to forget about him, and you're going to be being happy. You can't change people. They are the way they are, unless they want to change themselves, their mind state. So, no, don't let their actions ruin the rest of your day or your next day.
That's good advice. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like most of the stuff we talked about is right up here. This is, and I don't apply this to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I use this to apply shit to myself. Whenever I'm thinking something, just to make sure it's not stupid,
Yeah.
I look up at the 4 cardinal virtues of the old Greeks. Like, how does this work with wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice? Dude?
Nice.
And that's most, like, when you finally hear something like you're saying, all this stuff that makes sense from your experience, that's true. It almost always works with that. Those axioms. That's why I use them. I think of something. If I think of a great idea or doing something bad, I both hold it up against the 4 old school cardinal virtues.
Nice.
It works best for my ideas that I think are good. Like, that was stupid.
But
I'm glad I figured that out before I went and did it.
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Right on, man. Yeah, I'm glad you came and did this. You're probably about out of time, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Right on. Is there anything else you wanted to add or say?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I hope I ramble sometimes, so I hope it comes across to anybody that chooses to listen.
Oh, you're like the least rambly person I've ever talked to.
They get some insight about it. Insight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing it. I think a lot of people will, because it's awesome to meet anybody who's been successful in entrepreneurship at all. And it's really awesome to meet somebody who overcame struggles, slayed some dragons to get there. It's an inspiring story, dude. So keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming and talking to me.
Yeah, and like I said before, and one last thing, the key to life is being humble. Well,
You think so?
I think it's not only when it's important when you're doing great, but it's more important when you're not doing great. When you've got issues, problems, down, out, anger, whatever, that is when it's really key to be humble. Your demeanor, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like not everybody understands humble the same way I do, because I don't think of humble as meekness or weakness or being meager. I think humble is being very like courageous and active, but just realizing you're not more important than anyone.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time.
You seem to be that way.
Like in the shop, I don't care if the client's a janitor or if it's the mayor, Tyler. I mean, he got his haircut before.
Yeah.
You will be treated the same. Your money's green. We respect you. You know what you do. We appreciate your business and just you choosing us. So I'm like, treat everybody the same, no matter how you view people. Just if people do that in life in general,
that'd be
on the
great.
street and everything, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's golden rule. That's a true story, man. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up with that.
Pleasure.
That's a perfect place to start.
Nice.
Stop, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll have to do it again sometime if you want.
Yeah. Let me know when. We'll I'm sure I got 1,000 other things I can ramble on about.
Yeah, right? Now that we have all the framework out of the way and the history, we could just dive right into the crazy, funny shit.